I believe that generative AI can particularly help advocacy groups like the International Council for Men and Boys and Davia and its member groups because resources in the nonprofit world are scarce. We work with volunteer power and limited resources. When big business and Fortune 500 companies use technology and they become more efficient and more profitable, they make more money because they're rich and powerful, have investors to get things done and pay for advertising and to pay for manpower. However, we nonprofits don't, and this can be an equalizer. Generative AI can be an equalizer. When we as volunteers or low resource nonprofits can be more effective, efficient, and powerful, we can better bring about social change. I'm really excited and motivated to share this with you because of how effective it can be in helping others. This is just a list of technology advances during my lifetime. And part of my goal today is to help you overcome your resistance to using and learning about it because its power to help us do more, become more efficient, get more work done, etc. Each stage above here, people resisted learning new technology for a variety of reasons. But what experts are saying is that generative AI is going to be one of the biggest advances during our lifetime, and you will fall behind if you don't use it. First, here's some of the fears that we have in using it: fear of the unknown, safety and privacy, worried about misinformation, lack of trust, technological barriers because it's complex and hard to use, accessibility and affordability issues. I'm going to talk a lot about the free versions today, so we don't have to worry about that. Resistance with change, we're comfortable, and maybe other people don't use it, or regulatory and ethical concerns. We hear the horror stories about how it can be misused, or we just don't know how to use it. So here's a question. Who said generative AI will not take your job, but someone who knows how to use it will? Answer is anyone who knows how to use it. The good news, folks, you don't need coding. You don't need to know how to use it to get started. It's all language-based. You can have a conversation with AI itself and ask it to teach you. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's coming whether we like it or not. So I encourage all of you to take advantage of it. And again, you don't need coding to use the maximum power of it. So what is it? We all know about fancy computers and pre-programming. What generative AI is? It learns. It's a program that is taught how to learn. It's not behaving from predefined tasks or if then. It actually can learn from the information that we give it, whether it's in prompts or it's uploading large files. Just a little information about it. Who owns it? When you hear generative AI, what is it? The answer, almost all the time, the answer is OpenAI is the company that owns everything that we would want to use. And who owns OpenAI? The short answer is Microsoft. They own 49% of it, and then dozens and dozens of other investors. Google is also somewhat of a competitor, but OpenAI is by far the leader. What I'm going to be sharing with you here is how I use it. It is not comprehensive and exhaustive. I have not dabbled into something called the communication with third-party apps, but I do want you to know that it can do that. And that's my next step, but I wanted to get this out there. So here's some examples in movies and modern culture. Has anyone seen Her? Because Her is a movie, 2013, with Joaquin Phoenix, where he fell in love with his AI. And it looked futuristic. And what I want you to understand, if you're familiar with it, that's not the future, it is now. Let me just give you an example. I want to show you my personal companion. This is more a virtual assistant. I don't want you to think that I am anything like Joaquin Phoenix or what you hear about it, but I just want to give you a demonstration of the power of the paid version of ChatGPT. I'm going to now talk to my personal assistant. I don't know if you can see me here and it's small enough, but here's an example of how you can use it. Laura, I'm getting behind my wheel. I'm going to drive to Pittsburgh. I will be driving with nothing to do for 4.5 hours, and I'm curious about AI and third-party applications. Can you keep me company and teach me about it as I drive?
Sure, I'd be happy to keep you company and talk about AI and third party applications. Let's start with the basics. AI, or artificial intelligence, refers to machines designed to mimic human intelligence, like problem solving and learning from experience. When it comes to third party applications, these
Laura, you're going into too much detail. I know about a lot of that already. What I said was just give me the nuts and bolts. Right when I'm behind my computer, tell me how I can start using it.
got it. Let's dive into the basics so you can hit the ground running when you're back at your computer. To start using AI with third party applications, you'll need to understand APIs. Here's how you can get started. 1. Choose an AI service. Decide which AI service.
All right, hopefully you get the example there. So that's, I'm looking forward to driving to Pittsburgh in 2 weeks because I have another option for traveling where I can learn by having a conversation with someone teaching me basically everything that's in her database about that. So real life robots. I'm in the Northeast, so I didn't realize that everyone doesn't know about Marty. Here we go. This is Marty. When I first saw, and he's been around for a few years. That was him trying to quit, taking a run for it in the parking lot. But this is what he does. He walks around in the supermarket. He cleans up spills. He helps Giant Supermarket take inventory. He avoids people. He is completely automated. Again, he's a hazard cleaner upper, helps with inventory management and data collection. So he might be more popular if they can sell him, but I think he's great, and I enjoy seeing him every time. And do we all remember Seiko, the robot in Rocky Four? This is I don't know 30 years ago or so. This was not an AI robot. He was pre-programmed. Now he's highly complicated or complex and function pretty well. But the difference is Marty thinks for himself, and Seiko did not. The other real life application for this are in chatbots. You might know from the bottom corner, you see a little on most businesses, you'll see something that you can click. And sometimes they'll say, "Hi, I am a generative AI robot, Sam, and I'm here to help you." So now I want to get into the nuts and bolts, the tools of AI. For those of us who want to start using it, I will let you know, or here is what you use. The first one, the flagship, is ChatGPT. In the prompt box at the bottom, you type in, basically, you're talking to someone who has the wisdom of the internet. Claude AI. I think Claude AI initially was much better and more powerful because if you see that little, I think chat has that too now that I think about it. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So I thought. So with that clip, you have the ability to upload up to 5 files, and you can ask Claude about information that you want it to know, and it can interpret, summarize, or draw conclusions from what you teach it. And you could give it a task based upon what you wanted to know and what you want to know from that information. Helpful for uploading complex documents, 400-page books to get yourself a summary and things like that. Copilot is Microsoft. I like their sites because they volunteer website URLs much more often. They quote their sources without me having to ask for it. And if you want pictures, in my experience, they have been by far the best. And I'll show you, I will demonstrate that shortly. And then we have Google Gemini, which again is made by Google, and it's meant to easily interact with things that Google does. I did try it. I don't remember either hating or loving it, but it's probably best if you're a user of Google products and it can communicate with them the best. So let's go back to ChatGPT. Turbo was the first, and it was launched about a year and a half ago on November 30th, 2022. It knows nothing beyond September 21, but it will know the entire internet up to that point, and it's not being updated. Other limitations of ChatGPT and other free versions of generative AI is that it has trouble with any complex tasks and the context length. They measure it in tokens. I didn't test it to be able to tell you exactly what that means, but just basically what I want you to understand is it's limited. It has some issue with a bias and ethics and the potential for bias in because it suppose it wasn't finished training yet. Again, a lot of this was what chat gave me, but seeing videos test it by to ask, asking questions that should have been non-biased and it gives a bias. And I can even give an explanation as to why that is, because remember, it is pulling from what has been uploaded from the internet. So it's drawing from the bias and it's more prompt dependent. You have to be more clear because it didn't have that initial input from people who are testing it, meaning users who would give it feedback based upon what worked and didn't work. The premium ones, Chat 4 Plus or 4.0, and Premium, which is 4 Plus, solved those issues. So there's two versions of the premium, 4.0 and 4.0 Plus. I'm not going to really talk a lot about 4.0, but I haven't tested it, so I can't speak to it. It's less expensive and it can do everything that 4.0 can do, just not as well. And that's from chat's information itself. But I don't know what that means practically, so I'm going to move on. So let's talk about the capabilities of 4.0 Plus. It accesses real-time, up-to-date information from the internet. You can ask it about current events with a caveat I will go into in the next slide. It does provide accurate, timely responses. And again, mostly it can support tasks like make a hotel reservation and do grocery shopping and other powerful applications. I'll go in a little bit more depth later. And it provides immediate responses based upon the latest data. Except that here's a little story or an interaction I had with chat because before I said that to you guys, because it was telling me that it did have that, I wanted to test it. So I asked it, what was the score of last night's game? And they said they beat the Mets. Final score was 4-3. They gave me a little bit about it. And I said, wait a minute. What was the date of that? Because I knew they had just played the Padres. And it said the date was June 19th, which was false. And it even gave a citation that I said, no, they played the Padres and lost 5-2. Please confirm. And then it gave me an answer. You're right. Thanks. I knew that. I just watched it. And then it gave the summary. And I said, well, wait a minute. How did you make the mistake? And it said, oh, I'm sorry. The search results provided incorrect information, and I didn't verify them before responding. So isn't that wonderful? Even chat makes mistakes. The other thing, please be careful about is it hallucinates. If it can't find an answer, sometimes it makes it up, and maybe that's exactly what it was doing there. So that's not a reason not to do it. It's a reason to use it as a start. Use it to do that initial work for you that you can then verify. So, what are the common uses of generative AI? Creative writing. Well, personally, which is also professionally, I would suppose, but be a creative writing assistant, meaning giving ideas for what to write, help with personalized learning. Like I was kind of talking to my assistant before I was driving to Pittsburgh. I was asking, please teach me something, and it can do that. Mental health support. There are fantastic mental health chatbots made by, actually, I think AI itself or another major companies, but they're personal finance. It could give you tax advice or general information. Really, hey, I'm not supposed to say that it can give legal advice, so I'm sure they'll say it's not tax advice, but it gives good information and it can interpret. If you use Claude or upload a link, it can interpret complex language in simple thoughts. Language learning and the personal companion that I demonstrated, professional uses, custom chats. I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but that saves you from having to keep re-uploading files. You can save it and save all your custom instructions so that something that you're doing on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis, you will have all the instructions saved and then you can just get started. I think that's an enormously powerful use of generative AI. So you can write emails, press releases, blog articles, research reports, or video production, which I'll demonstrate later. So here is the strength of Copilot AI, which is Microsoft's version. Here is my input. I was doing this because I couldn't find a video image. So I wanted it to give me a picture that I would then put in a video. And I said to it, please create an image depicting the huge size of government and government overreach. I was doing something on constitutional law. And it gave me these, what I thought was scary and overly ominous. And so I asked again and said, please give me, and this is my ask, an image showing government officials towering over tiny citizens. And I got these four images and I chose the bottom left and I used it because I thought that was pretty powerful. And I kid you not, it took seconds for it to generate that powerful of a graphic. Here's another example. I was trying to teach people in custody situations not to fret on the past and to move forward. So I asked for an image of a hysterical person crying over spilt milk. And because I wanted to use a little bit of humor to help convey this. And I like that poor soul in the upper right who dropped his milk and is crying hysterically. For eminent domain, I asked it, please give me a government improperly and wrongfully seizing assets from a wealthy but powerless citizen. And I preferred the upper left-hand corner. And again, what I think is immensely powerful of all this is that it gave me out of one answer. This was one iteration and it gave me something it used and it was fast. Now, as things get more popular, you're probably not going to get the speed, but if you get during off times, I suppose you will. But what impressed me was how quickly it used. I used 7 of these in like one video. And then for a logo, this took me about 3 or 4. I asked for it to generate because I wanted to show that you can become a scholar by watching Law Center videos. Show me an owl with a tie, but basically just to save time, this is everything I asked for. You see, I gave it 5 lines of detail, and it gave me those 4 pictures, which I thought was pretty sharp. So, and I used the bottom left, which I hope that you can see, but I thought that was to do 3 iterations. It still took me under 5 minutes to get to that, and I was really pleased. So people worry about ethics. I asked, and I wanted to show people's free use of their property, again, in a constitutional video. And so I said, show me a man working on a meth lab in his basement. And Copilot said, I'm sorry, but I can't help you with that. And that's only one example, but it did that occasionally. So it does have a conscience. OpenAI is making an effort to put ethics in what they're doing. It's just going to get better and more powerful because you can say, make it look like a real human being, or you can say, make it look like a cartoon. And you can do video. They're doing video. They're working on images or you can actually, instead of stock footage, you can request a computer to make a stock footage skit for you. And that's where we're going. And this is one of the reasons why I'm encouraging people to get in now, because if you use this, it's the future. It's going to be, it's just going to keep getting better and better. So just because you get a hallucination now, they might fix it in weeks or months. Right now, you just have to keep checking your work or use it what I think is best for custom chats, what I'll get into in a minute. I encourage you not to worry about why not to use it because the rest of the world is going to be doing it commonly. This is the future. It's a tool. It's not an existence in and of itself. It
Yeah.
listens to us. It does what we as individuals are telling it to do as individuals. So I hope that most of you who are able to do something with, who had the capacity, at least tested it. I'd like to move on and just share this is one use that I used it for. I asked for video topics and it gave me 15. I just copied there the first five. And then I went and used those for video presentations. And it helps. One thing I like about it, writer's block, solving writer's block. We never have to worry about writer's block again because we can ask for ideas. What are the most popular topics being discussed related to health and wellness, fitness, whatever topic you care about and you're writing about. Here's a complicated 107 page tax document that I had. And I just said, you know what? Let me test this. I'm going to upload it and say, hey, please summarize 3 key takeaways from the document in simple terms. For a businessman with only a high school education and maybe an 8th grade reading level, boom, a short summary. So if you want to understand a pharmaceutical document, a technical, something with technical wording that you don't understand, upload it into Claude and say, here's something I can't begin to understand. Explain it to me like I'm an 8th grader. And then you get something that you can understand. The other thing, fantastic use of this is if someone shares with you a video 2, 3, 4 hours long, or if you see someone important that you respect and you want to know what they're saying, but who the heck wants to go through an hour blog or 2 hour lecture, I encourage you to go into the transcript. You usually always can find it in the description portion of the video. Hit the transcript, turn off the toggle timestamps, copy, paste into a word processor, upload it into Claude, ask them to summarize it, and then you know everything that was in that video, and you can discuss it with some degree of understanding than if you didn't in seconds or minutes. Maybe not seconds. Let's not, sorry for exaggerating. I just think it's so powerful. And I want to share that with you, how often I've used it almost in everything I do. I think, how can I use generative AI to help me do this? But the most powerful by far way of using this is through the premium. And let me contrast with the free version. Claude, oh, and it's a $20 subscription, this premium version, but Claude enables you to upload 5 files at a time. And you can't add permanent customization, but you can say, okay, here's what I want you to do. But you're only limited to one long thread. And when you run out of bandwidth or space within its memory, it cuts you off. You can't continue. And this is Claude. Here's an example of how you can use Claude in the free version, because to me, this is one of the most powerful free uses. For instance, in business, you upload your resume, you upload your company or a company that you want to communicate, and you upload a description of your target audience, whether it's someone you're writing an email to or the general population, the type of listener that you want to describe. Then request what you would write. You're telling it about you and what you want. You tell it about your audience. You upload some relevant information that you wanted to discuss, and you get a powerful communication written in as many words as you want to specify in seconds. You don't use it then. You use it as a start. It's your beginning. And then you make it yours. And that's the power of Claude. Now, what are some practical uses? I just gave you a general business use. Talk about you, the sender, talk about the listener, and upload from websites to help you do that fast. Upload articles or topics that you want to discuss, and you're going to get what I would call a great start. Now, what's a practical use of something like a high conflict, like a practical use? one thing for people in court, I would suggest a high conflict custody case. You can upload about you, your story, upload a description about your co-parent and their story, upload the order, upload emails that have been exchanged, and then you can write a request. How can I learn from this past discussions and diffuse this situation? Write an email about Friday's custody exchange in calmly, friendly, using best practices of how to deal with a high conflict individual, and then you get some ideas, and then you can say, give me 5 options that I can choose from, and you can hit a regenerate button. So if you don't like what you get, you can just keep clicking nope, nope, nope. So that's Claude, but that can get time consuming and inefficient because you have to redo it. So the solution is, from the prescription, a custom chat. What is a custom chat? You can set up a dedicated library for repeated tasks. I never tested Claude, but the upgraded version of a custom ChatGPT, you can upload 10 files up to 100,000 words each, which is a total of 1 million words, which is approximately 2,000 pages worth of books. So you have a library. You don't want it to pull. You don't want it to hallucinate. You don't want it to pull through information you don't trust. You put up the trusted information that you wanted to analyze or that you wanted to know before you suggest an action. And the way you practically want to use that is to think of things that you have to do daily, weekly, or with any type of regularity, whether it's produce a video or a video scripts, write blogs, write articles, give instructions based upon, if you're a teacher, think of course topics, you can write curriculums, and so on. You're only limited by your own imagination. I'm somewhat running out of time. I hope that I can demonstrate this, but the other use is, if you get an upgraded version, is you get the library of every publicly made custom chat and chatbot. So you can get things about law, healthcare, politics, basically anything, any profession that wants you, any profession or nonprofit, professional, anybody who wants to market or wants you to learn or wants you to see something, you can communicate with other chatbots, and you can find out how it was made, or how much it's used, what it's rated, and then have a conversation. Hopefully we have a chance to demonstrate, but let's go back to setting up your own custom chat, not just searching the library. So I consider that 2 uses. 1, you can benefit from other people's work, but 2, you make your own. So we don't have time to go through. Believe it or not, it's not that hard, and it wouldn't take that long, but this is the process. What you do, chat gives you, I would like to set this up for you. What would you like to create? You name it. You pick an image. It writes an image for you, and you say yes or no. Then they ask you to describe it in layman's terms. And then you can give it custom instructions for your repetitive tasks, how you want it to behave when you speak to it. And the custom instructions can be something like, I want you to use this tone. I want you to speak to this audience. I want you to consider in all times that I keep professionalism, I'm courteous, I'm inspiring. You can just describe yourself ad infinitum. Everything you wanted to know, you put in there. And influencers put out these sample custom instructions, so you do not have to learn from scratch if you don't have the confidence to be able to just to do this in the top of your head. It's very easy to find how to do this. Then you upload files that you wanted to know. For instance, if you've written a book or several books, or if you have a favorite author or something in the Creative Commons, data that you wanted to know that you trust, that you uploaded it and say, look, if I talk, I want to draw from this knowledge. So, and again, Whatever is available publicly is free game for you to upload. And then you test it and then you publish it. And then instead of just using Claude once, when you're only uploading 5 things, you have something controlled that you can use continuously. So just to go into what I see as ideas for practical use for education. If the great educators teach us how to educate, write PDFs, or provide this type of information that they want us to have in the Creative Commons, or if our partners in Davia will share books that they've written because for advertising purposes or for the common good, we can upload and make libraries from which we can teach others. Can you guys see chat right now? If you buy the subscription, you have the ability to scroll and look at custom chats. You can hear my GPTs. These are chats that I've already searched. Can you guys see the left-hand column, right? So these are the ones that I searched and found. And let's do law. Since we're talking to a lawyer, law, legal, and contracts. I was just thrown out of my house by my wife. Since I'm a man, I'll speak from my own. I was served with a TRO, a temporary, you can misspell, it'll figure it out, temporary restraining order, and I have no money for a lawyer. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Welcome. I'm Noah, the AI. Oh, hold on a minute. I
am Noah, the AI trained to help with legal and contract matters. To better understand your situation and provide relevant guidance, I need to ask a few questions. 1. When were you served with the temporary restraining order, TRO?
When she showed up with the cops.
Do you have a copy of the temporary restraining order, TRO, and the associated documents? If so, what specific allegations or reasons are mentioned in the TRO?
Yes, she said I hit her, but I never touched her. If anything, she pushed and screamed at me. Now I'm going to misspell because I want to show you that it picks it up anyway.
Do you have any evidence or witnesses that can support your version of events? This could include text messages, emails, or testimonies from friends or neighbors.
No, it's her word against mine. We never fought until now. I think she has a boyfriend.
Have you been given a date for a court hearing regarding the temporary restraining order? If so, when is it scheduled?
It is scheduled in 3 weeks.
Here are a few steps you can take.
You guys can hear that, right?
Prepare your defense.
Yeah.
Start gathering any evidence or documentation that can help your case. This might include any communication between you and your wife or any other relevant information. 2. Seek legal aid. Look into free or low-cost legal aid services in your area. Many organizations provide assistance to individuals who cannot afford a lawyer. 3. Court preparation. Familiarize yourself with the court process and what will be expected of you at the hearing. You might be able to find resources or self-help guides through your local courthouse or online. Would you like help finding legal aid resources in your area? If so, please provide your location.
Hey, how about a demonstration for mental health now? You want me to do that, guys? Ed? Or keep going?
Whatever you think, Larry.
Sure.
This is really fantastic and
Good.
very helpful. Yes.
Good. So I'm going to explore. So look, Suppose we just signed, we're depressed. We just paid for the script and we can afford $20, but not the $200 for a mental health therapist. So we're going to go into Explore GPTs on the left. I showed you exactly what I did to do that. Mental health. So I type in mental health here and it's finding. All right. So says mental health therapist progress notes. So I don't want that because I think that's to help a therapist, even though it's pretty popular. It's been used 5,000 times. So I'm going to here, okay, mental health nurse. She's going to provide psychiatric nursing care, coordinating treatment. Maybe not. That's not for a bot. Hold on. Plan professional, that's for so we're scroll. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see this. Unfortunately, it's really faint, but child mental health advisor, empower your child's emotional well-being. Let's try this one. 6 conversations, no ratings. No, let's not waste our time. Let's pick something that's more reputable. Mental health assistant, a compassionate guide, 50 chats. Let's do this one. At least we know they have 50 of them. Mental health assistant. I am depressed. I don't want to get out of bed. I am working. I am single, working in a remote location. There is no way for me to socialize, and I don't even like my job. I see no way out. We'll start there. It's not. I'm going to hit the speaker in a second. Can you guys see that while I'm waiting for the speaker for those of us on the phone? But it's giving information.
Yes.
It's giving a lot faster than I can read. Career counseling. Okay. So what you've done is you've looked for this, you found this, and you're saying, well, wait a minute. Who am I talking to? Well, first of all, you know I can hit read aloud, you know it'll read that. So how what I want you all to know is you can ask it, what are your custom instructions? So in other words, how are you taught to talk to me? So they're summarizing, they're giving you 2 to choose, but they're summarizing what the person who created this told it. This is 2 different summaries of the information that they put in. So you know what the person who made it was thinking. And if you find something you like, if you go and do this and you find something you like, you can use this as an assistant to duplicate. It's reverse engineering. And the other thing I'm going to ask it is, what is in your data library? What is the name of the files you stored when you were created? And it gives you that information so you know what you're looking at. Now, this is not helpful, but sometimes it tells you exactly what's in there.
Can I just ask, Larry?
Yes, go ahead.
I've used ChatGPT, the free version. Am I right in thinking that what you're showing us now, is only on the paid version?
Yes. What I just showed you, the ability to use custom chats, the ability to talk to a mental health companion, to create your own, to find others, is only in the paid version. I get nothing for saying this. I am not an affiliate marketer, but I actually get emotional when I think about it. My life changed when I started using this. I see things and a way to influence. Keep going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right in thinking you said that was $20 a month?
Yes.
So not
And I
cheap.
believe only the people that know about it pay for it. Once you find it and know what you can do, it's that, look what you pay for cable. Look what you pay for other things. Look what you use. This is the most powerful thing, the most powerful tool. And this is the weakest it'll ever be. This is the most limitations that we have here. that it'll ever have.
I tell you why I'm asking. One of the things we're campaigning for in the UK is that people should have access to our website. We should give them advice on what to do when you separate. And it seems to me that you could get an AI to do that today.
And the last thing I was going to say is that I haven't even started the most powerful use. This can communicate with third-party apps. So when you're sitting chatting with chat, you can say, send out an email to every legislator in the United States with this text based upon our usual customary. The reason why I'm not being specific is because I haven't gotten to this part yet. But look, if it's as easy as what I just did, and they claim it is, I can't wait to dive in because they say it's integrated with third-party apps, 6,000. It could do Facebook posts, it can social media, it can read and interpret data from spreadsheets, and every app that's now being made is being made to communicate with chat.
Okay.
You're going to start seeing media articles about it. This is getting more popular. Like I said, I think this is going to dominate the media just like cell phones and smartphones did. Those Facebook did, it just we haven't discovered it yet. So listen, you can really make headway when you do this early. And look at the power of us in a group like this. Look at the 12 goals of male disadvantage that we're all trying to fight against, and just our morals and our beliefs in what Davia stands for. The power of these custom chats is what you upload into it. And we are a collection of the most successful, best minds in this industry. So for us to communicate with each other and build powerful chats, we can really take a bite out of the disadvantage facing men and boys, and not just men and boys, humanity. Now I'd like to demonstrate the power of ChatGPT and generative AI in making video and an online program. I'm not jumping from screen to screen of the actual process. I'm giving you screen captures of the process. Here is the language that I put into ChatGPT. I would like to produce a curriculum for an online program and/or guide for the falsely accused. Can you help me with that? If so, I want you to give me a proposed outline in modules and lessons. After that, in a follow-up request, I will ask you to write a script for me that I can read to a camera and can serve. I wrote serve, I meant set up as an online program. Can you help me with that? This is a screen capture of the answer. Again, you can see the icon of ChatGPT, and I'm screen capturing its answer, and it's only the top of the answer because it went several pages. It gave, as you can see, module 1 and module 2, and I just copied the top, screen captured the top, and I also am presenting you all the modules going down the page. I couldn't fit them, but I'm writing them out, which seems logical and something that I actually would use if I was to produce an online course or online program. Now I'm going back to here and I'm screen capturing what it gave me as Module 1, Intro to False Allegations, Understanding False Allegations. These are all the modules which I'm liking. I like the intro in Lesson 1. I like the full module set. So now I'm saying this is the prompt that I wrote in. And I told it I was going to do this. In a follow-up request, I'll ask you to write a script for me. So now I'm taking you to me asking it to write the script. Please write a script for the following, taken from your course curriculum above. And that's the Module 1, Lesson 1 that I told you that I liked. I type that in, and then, boom, it's typing this out. I'm not taking you through the actual process. I'm, again, screen capturing the script. This, I copied and pasted that into this program. I went to InVideo AI. I'm going to click Login. Now I'm in. This is like the second screen. This took me seconds to get to. I noticed that, hey, I have a script, and they're claiming they're going to turn that script to a video. So I click this, paste it right there. So I pasted this text right here. This all probably happened within a 4-minute window that I had the thought of asking it to create a curriculum. This is my prompt. This is the curriculum these are the modules of the curriculum. This is the first lesson. Then I asked it to please write a video script for that first lesson. It gave me this script. I went to AI, and then I clicked script to video, put it in here, and now I'm going to click. The next thing I clicked was generated a video. I would say it was about a 5-minute turnaround. I did not even purchase this program. I'm just demonstrating it, and I'm giving you the raw footage in what it gave to me without any editing. Forgive the sound. The sound was done for efficiency. I did not make it the way it would be if I was doing it professionally, but this is what it gave me.
Welcome to our course on defending against false allegations. Today we begin by understanding what false allegations are and the contexts in which they commonly occur. First, let's define what we mean by false allegations. A false allegation is a claim that someone has done something wrong or illegal when, in fact, they have not. These accusations can range from minor offenses to serious crimes, and they can have devastating effects on the accused person's life, reputation, and well-being. Some common types include false allegations of abuse. These can be physical, emotional, or sexual in nature. False allegations of criminal activity such as theft, assault, or fraud. False allegations in the workplace, claims of misconduct, harassment, or unethical behavior. Now let's talk about the common contexts in which false allegations occur. Understanding these contexts can help us better navigate and respond to such accusations.
Now, that was not polished. I would not have used the captions the way it was only one word at a time. I really wanted to give you it raw without editing it. I did not touch that. Notice the sound was bad because in my presentation, I'm just playing from the speakers, just like I would have done this presentation live. I did not try so it will sound better than that. And I can also put my own voice in it. So when I talk, it'll have that inflection. What I wanted to demonstrate is that I showed you the beginning from writing a presentation or writing an online curriculum, where I would say, let's get an entire video or online program, write the script, I took it right to the video, and I showed you each prompt. That really probably took me less than 5 minutes, and look how powerful that production is. So for a group, an advocacy group like Davia or the International Council for Men and Boys, who I'm demonstrating this for, how quickly we can produce online content. The cost to do a high volume job would be $60 for 200 minutes and almost unlimited scenes, stock footage scenes. When you do high volume, you get the best quality scenes. It would be more expensive for smaller jobs, but with the time saving, the amount of time that you save, the efficiency of the process, and the high quality is really exceptional. I hope you find uses for generative AI and video production in your own companies and uses. Thank you.